Welcome back to the channel where we teach you how to take your grilling game to a whole nother level. In this recipe, we're gonna be doing the best of both worlds, where I've got my Locos Cooker 3-burner gas griddle and my Silverback from Grilla Grills fired up, ready to go. Now, you know, on this channel, we are all about pushing the boundaries of barbecue to make something unique and different. With the combination of the perfect sear from our Locos Cooker gas griddle and the infusion of smoke from our Grilla Grills Silverback, we are going to be making a boneless beef rib cheese dip. And come close. And I'm calling it the Carnivore's Cheesy Charred Chip Dip. Let's get started. Alright, our first step in this great recipe, we're going to be taking these beautiful boneless beef short ribs. We're going to be making a rub, and we're going to be searing it on high heat on our gas griddle. Then we're going to be taking it, putting all the cheese dip in the pot right here, and letting those beef ribs smoke to perfection right over it, so all the drippings go right into the cheese dip. But first, let's make that rub. All the measurements in the recipe will be down in the description below. But all we have is 5 spices to get a nice good rub on these beef ribs. Get yourself a small mixing bowl like this. First step, onion powder. You can kind of eyeball it. Next, some chili powder. Get a little bit in there for a little bit of heat. Of course, we have some smoked paprika here. And that's gonna give us a nice flavor and color. There we go. Freshly cracked black pepper. You want about a teaspoon of this. We're gonna just be going until I feel like it's good. That looks good there. And then salt, which I'm using some Hawaiian sea salt that I got as a gift. I'll take all that, mix it together just like that. We've got a beautiful spice rub mix that's gonna get us a nice beautiful sear on each side of these beef ribs. Take your rib and just coat it generously, all sides. Do that for all of them. Now I've got just one burner on. You can see the smoke already coming off of it. You want to get some high quality olive oil. I use the extra virgin, and we're going to squirt that across the top because this is going to help us get the sear that we're looking for. Take your ribs and just put them on there. We're gonna sear them about 2 minutes on each side to develop a nice, beautiful crust and lock in all those juices. While those are searing, let's take our knife and let's chop up these vegetables. Chop the bottom off here and down the sides. I know your mind was blown with those knife skills that I just showed you. And yeet these into the yard. You want to fine dice each of your peppers, which is 1 red bell pepper and 1 fresh jalapeno pepper as well. Our first cheese that we're using is 2 blocks of Vermont cheddar cheese. And we're simply gonna just cut these into chunks, and these are gonna melt. There is no specific wrong or right way to do this. You do it what works best for you. And then we're gonna cut those chunks into cubes, simply like that. This helps it melt better. More surface area for the smoke to adhere to. We're shutting off the griddle. You can see that we have gorgeous crust development. Look at that. Oh yeah. So we're just gonna move these, oh gorgeous, to the cool side of the grill. Look at that. Look at that bubbling, beautiful goodness. We're gonna let those rest for just a couple minutes while we prepare everything else. Now, like all my recipe videos that have a cheese dip, I've done a cheesy enchilada dip, I've done the smoked queso dip that was viral a few years ago. In fact, I've done that one twice. I did one earlier this year. But because it's almost summer, we want to make sure that we have appetizers ready for when we have the party. So next, take an 8-ounce block of Velveeta cheese and cube that up as well. Drop that in there. Our third cheese is some queso fresco. I use this in a taco recipe and I had a little bit of left over, so I figured, why not? Let's throw it in there. This is a great cheese that adds some sharpness and great color and melty flavor. And I'm just gonna crumble that inside. Look at that, gorgeous. Smoked Gouda is the last one, same thing. We're just gonna cut it into strips and then cube it down and put it all in our beautiful pot here. It's coming out perfect, just like me. When you're cooking these beef ribs, you wanna make sure, again, that you're just getting a sear on it. We are not gonna cook it all the way through because they are gonna finish cooking on the pellet grill. But just to show you that these are not fully cooked, we got our Tyfer Instaprobe here. Look how quickly that reads, 78 degrees on the internal, but they are not even close to being finished. And I want to thank Tyfer for giving us this Instaprobe because it is a great barbecue tool. Make sure you get one, link is in my bio. Next, we're gonna get a little X-rated. You gotta pop the top off that sour cream. We are using the whole can, or tub, whatever this is. And we're gonna mix that right in there, just like that. I'm telling you, this is something you have never seen before. Then we're gonna take, believe it or not, Duke's mayo. Come here. You've seen me say this a lot on this channel. This is the only mayo that should exist. Hellman's, Blue Plate, any other kind, don't bother. Get Duke's. Put the mayo on top. Now, we're gonna take this beautiful, delicious concoction and we're gonna transfer it over there. We got a screen that we're gonna put on top and we're gonna put those beef ribs just like this over the top of them. And they're gonna sit there and those juices are gonna fall and collect in the pan and add even more smoky flavor. When we are finished cooking, after about 20 to 30 minutes at 350, we're gonna chop this up, mix it all together, and then we're gonna try it. We have a little bit of rub left over, so all we're gonna do, sprinkle that across the top. All that's gonna add just more flavor in this gorgeous dish. Let's put this beautiful thing right in the middle, put them right over the top. Then we close it and let it sit for 30 minutes. We might want to check on it in about 15, but if you're looking, you ain't cooking, so we'll check back in 30. So I checked it at 30 minutes and then I waited to go another 10 minutes, but let me show you the process. Gorgeous color on those beautiful ribs, and if you look just below, see they dripped into the cheese sauce. We're gonna mix up this cheese dip and then we're gonna chop up these beef ribs, throw them in there, and then we're gonna try it. Oh yeah. Mix all that together, get all that flavor in there. It's coming out perfect, just like me. It smells really good. So 40 minutes, we've mixed it together. You can see we have this gorgeous consistency and a lot of flavor. So we're gonna set this to the side, let that cool down just a minute, and we're gonna take our beef short ribs and we're simply gonna take our knife and karate chop these into bits and pieces. Gorgeous. This is gonna be amazing. These had some really great crust development on it from that sear, You can tell it absorbed some of that smoke. The drippings went into the cheese dip here. And this is our final product. A cheese dip you have never seen before. Now it's time to dive in and take a bite. Let's take our scoop chip here, get a little bit of cheese, a little bit of beef, a little bit of cilantro. Check that out. Beautiful. And here we go. It's chewy, it's beefy. These short ribs were a little bit fattier than normal, and they probably could have gone a little bit longer where they would break down a little easier. We pulled them off at about 195, but I'm telling you, this is amazing. Got a smoky flavor, crisp texture from the sear, and we have a beautiful new cheese dip, our Carnivore's cheesy charred chip dip. Make sure you like this video, write a comment down below what you thought of it. The recipe is going to be on my website, grillmartco.com, on the menu board blog. I'm going to finish the rest of this. And until next time, make sure you keep those grills fired up so that the flavor doesn't go down. We'll see you then.